This is Greer, South Carolina. Take a look around and you'll see a community built around families and friends. You'll find a vibrant business community and industries that keep the local economy strong. You'll see programs and activities that contribute to a high quality of life and a community that never forgets its past while always looking toward the future. Take a look around Greer and you'll see a community that has planned wisely for the future. Greer experienced unprecedented growth during the 1990s, largely due to BMW's construction of a 1.9 million square foot manufacturing facility. City leaders were faced with the challenge of how to plan for that growth. That was the topic of discussion in 1997, when city leaders gathered at a Greater Greer Chamber of Commerce retreat and discussed not only how the city could keep pace with growth, but also how it could fund those projects. A feasibility study yielded the answer: a partnership for tomorrow.
We set about the first 5-year campaign that started in 1999 to 2004. And we were successful with that. We started another 5-year campaign. It's been interesting over the course of this is our 4th 5-year campaign, that our community, both public and private, which it is a partnership, that's why it's called the Partnership for Tomorrow, it stayed behind us and it supported us all through those years. It's the city, the CPW, but a lot of private individuals as well as some of our major corporations like BMW, Michelin, Mitsubishi, just a number of folks have supported it.
I think Partnership for Tomorrow has created a team atmosphere that Greer has, not only in the business community, but in the residents and people that are looking to move here. Partnership has recruited new businesses to this area, but it's amazing when we go around to different communities and people ask, well, how do you all get along so well? And Partnership for Tomorrow is the answer that really relates to all of that. It brings everybody together and puts us on the same team.
Key elements of the first plan were improvements in the Highway 101 corridor impacted by the arrival of BMW, constructing a city municipal complex that would expand the downtown footprint, and making improvements in the central business district to make Greer Station the face of the city.
What you see today in downtown, whether it's City Hall or it's City Park or it's the streetscape in Greer Station, these were all elements that were envisioned in that first community master plan, and now we're ready to move forward for the next 15 years. Those of us who have been around for 15 or 20 years or longer, we certainly know how our downtown has transitioned over the decades. Over this last 15 years or so, what we've seen is investments from the public sector, where we've gone in and we've made streetscape improvements and we've made those things that improve the aesthetics of the downtown area. That being the catalyst for private individuals to make investments in their properties and opening businesses. And I think that's what's been the real success of Greer Station. As we've made public investment in this area, we have seen private investment follow that. So now it's a very vibrant, very lively, entertaining area. You'll come to Greer Station for dining opportunities, for shopping opportunities, to visit the park, to do business. It's a very alive environment, and you can sense that when you're in downtown today, and that just wasn't the case 15 years ago.
The plan quickly paid dividends.
When I was a practicing attorney in downtown Greenville and was looking for a place to open my own practice, and I came to Greer and went to the chamber, one of the things that I was given was the community master plan that had already been developed. And when I took that plan and I opened it up, and this is just a summary that was distributed, but when you open it up and you saw the ideas, the desire, the innovation that you had, and I said to myself, if this is such a forward-thinking community that can come up with this, it is a place I want to be and be a part of.
The success of the first plan was also evident to residents of the Trade Street neighborhood.
We moved here in 2006, and we bought a house, a 100-year-old house in Trade Street neighborhood area, and renovated it, and we saw all the improvements that Greer was making downtown, and our original plan was to just stay maybe 5 years and move somewhere else, but we decided to stay because Greer was becoming so awesome. I love that I can just walk to Stomping Grounds coffee shop anytime. I can walk to about 4 different playgrounds with my kids. It's just a great lifestyle for young families.
Having weathered the recession, the Greer community enjoyed a new period of growth. BMW expansion, business parks, and the arrival of the inland port.
What we have done is we've been able to continue to be able to refine this plan, to rework this plan, and to now see another edition of this plan. When I look back 15 years ago, where we've come in the last 15 years, and to think about the next 15 years, I can't even begin to tell you how exciting that is to me.
The new goal? Create another plan that would blend seamlessly with the old.
I think what's really exciting about the plan is the city's done such a great job taking the citizens' vision in 1999 and now moving it forward to 2015. And a lot of this effort has been about now looking forward the next 15 years and thinking about what's going to maintain the things that we really treasure in Greer that help the city get to the next level as we continue to grow.
This one has taken a much broader scope, multifaceted, and a much broader geographical area than our first plan did. It focused an awful lot on our downtown core area. This is different, and I think that we are just building off of what the first plan was, expanding that, and looking at how the infrastructure needs and many of the other things. Where do we want residents to live? Should the commercial development be? And just many, many things in a broad sense that I think our people in our community, for many years to come, are going to reap the benefits of this master plan.
In addition to examining growth areas, the Community Master Plan touches on 3 key areas.
Well, certainly, we know as we're continuing to grow, our plan is predicting that the greater Greer community is going to be in excess of 100,000 people as we approach 2030. And as we start to envision that, as we start to experience that, what we recognize is that we need to be very conscious of transportation, and we need to know how transportation is going to need to be affected over the next 15 years. We also know that parks and open spaces, that this is critically important for us as a community, and arts and culture. How do we embrace these things as we look over the next 15 years and start to plan for 2030 and beyond?
An important component of the plan, transportation, focuses on enhancing Greer's most important corridors.
Well, the strategic corridors, there was a lot of thought that came into what corridors are the most important in our community. And we took a very measured approach to that, simply because we knew that was where transportation and the preferred growth strategy, everything was going to come together. It's also the place where most people experience the plan and its outcomes. If you get the corridors right, if you give people a positive experience in how they travel, how they move through the city, you're going to solve a lot of the problems.
The plan also overlaps existing strategies and studies, such as the one for the Wade-Hampton Boulevard corridor.
One of our focus areas is on sustainable communities and sustainable growth. And Greer is certainly leading the charge in that area. The project I'm specifically a part of is the entire Highway 29 corridor between Greenville and Spartanburg. Our goal is to facilitate making that corridor what we call transit ready. We've been using that term for a while now, so it's great to hear it echoed here. This is absolutely critical. The growth is coming to this area. And knowing how to accommodate it, having the community inform the leaders what they want to see, what they want this community to be in the future, what assets they want to have. That's the only way anything really happens in a thoughtful and intelligent manner. Otherwise, you get chaos and you don't get what you want in the end.
Mobility issues are also an important part of the plan.
I truly believe that Greer has a wonderful action plan based on the desires of its citizens to see all types of mobility represented, whether you're driving, bicycling, walking, running, or hopefully riding the bus one day.
Planners realize that a successful plan requires community participation, and they've seen that in Greer.
The community involvement in Greer has been amazing, to say the least. And that's not to suggest that everyone has participated, but the volume and the depth of participation is what bolstered the quality of the plan. We've had so many diverse ways to engage that it has increased both the frequency as well as the type of content that we're getting from the community, which literally translates to this is the community's, use the possessive, the community's master plan.
Well, one of the things that we understand about our community is the just amazing diversity that we've got in our community. The other thing we understand is we've got a very engaged community. If you look at this process that we've just been through, the number of people that have been engaged in it has just been tremendous. I think from a planning standpoint, that's invaluable because the more input you get and the more perspectives you get, the more thorough your plan is going to be. And so I think that piece of it to me has been exciting to see our community engage in the planning process.
The community members who have shown up and given their input, it is obvious. I've seen their input at the beginning and I see it reflected in that plan. I remember hearing comments earlier on and I see them reflected in that plan. And I think it's fantastic.
So what will Greer look like in the year 2030?
To think about what Greer is today, and let's be clear, Greer is a great place. But what's fun and motivational is to contemplate if you continue on your path of success, what will Greer be in 15 years? How much greater will it be?
There's a sense in this community that we are set to have an explosion of growth. And we are blessed to have a city council and a city administrator and organizations that understand what's coming, that are excited about it, but have the forethought to know how to control it and make it good for everybody.
Every community has its challenges. For some communities, it's a lack of growth and a lack of vision, a lack of kind of community. In Greer, it's the exact opposite. You know, one of the challenges is it's a community that's evolving. It's a community that's going to grow very rapidly, most likely. But that also presents opportunities, something that we can certainly leverage.
This is Greer, South Carolina. Take a look around in the year 2030 and you'll see a community that has continued to plan wisely for the future.
It's funny, my sister, about 3 years ago we were walking in the park and she said, Greer just reminds me of a virtual, like, perfect city. Like, it's just, because it's just so beautiful. And I think so many cities, they spend the money and they work on a project and then they don't upkeep it and they don't continue to get citizen input and feedback. And Greer is not like that at all.
Well, you know, we always knew that there needed to be a follow-up to the original community master plan, but we needed to be able to work through that original plan first. Through the efforts of Partnership for Tomorrow and our partners at the Chamber of Commerce, the city, CPW, our business partners, and obviously our residents here in our community, both in the city and in the greater Greer community, we've needed to be able to involve all of these folks in this planning process. And I think that's been one of the great successes of this process, where we've been able to get, we believe, through literally thousands of responses that we've received through this process of what our community would like to see Greer become as we continue to grow over the next 15 years and beyond.